Hello friends, this is Jim with Science Talk. I want to bring you a report that examines the effects of increasing temperature in Europe and how an increase of 3 degrees Celsius will increase double Europe's drought issues. As the world warms, so will Europe's risk to drought increase, and the soils will turn increasingly dry. If average global temperatures continue to rise by about 3 degrees C, and the indications are it will continue to rise, how much remains to be seen, but it is rising, then Europe's drought risk could increase to double the area faced with drying out. Right now, just 13% of the continent is considered to be drought-prone region. As the temperature increases, this region could increase to 26%, a doubling. About 400 million people could feel the heat as the water content of the European soils begins to evaporate. So basically, if you're losing water from the soil, it's going to make it more and more difficult to grow crops. I just did a story about the drought to flooding extremes that California may be looking at. Well, the drought conditions makes it difficult to grow crops. If we start drying out the ground, the soil in Europe, it's going to again make it difficult to grow food. And with increasing population, increasing stress on the land for housing and for land to grow food, this will make for very stressful situations, and there will be some hardships. The worst droughts will last 3 to 4 times longer than they did in the last decades of the last century. The number of months of drought in southern Europe could increase significantly. In this zone, drought is already measured over 28% of the land area, and it could expand to as high as 49%. 49%. What's referred to as the Iberian extreme. In the event of a 3-degree warming, we assume there will be 5.6 drought months per year. Up to now, that number has been 2.1. For some parts of the Iberian Peninsula, we project that the drought could even last more than 7 months. This is a statement by Luis Samaniego of the UFZ Helmholtz Center for Environmental Research in Germany. His co-author, Stephen Thober, added, a 3-degree temperature rise also means that the water content in the soil would decline by 35 millimeters up to a depth of 2 meters. In other words, what he's saying is water will be lost from the upper layers of the soil, so where you have to go down deeper to find any moisture content in the soil. So if we're looking at this in terms of agricultural, 35,000 cubic meters of water will no longer be available per square kilometer of land, making agriculture more difficult to carry out. These two scientists, along with colleagues from the UK, the US, the Netherlands, and the Czech Republic, report in Nature Climate Change that they use mathematical models to simulate the effects of temperature rise as a response to ever greater global emissions of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere via burning of fossil fuels. The 35 millimeter loss of water was roughly what parts of Europe experienced during the unprecedented drought of 2003. So there is a basis for this estimation. If planetary temperatures do rise by 3 degrees Celsius, then such episodes become the new normal state in many parts of Europe, just like the new normal that's facing California, with the extremes between flooding and drought situations. And maybe for Europe, far worse could be on its way. Now, none of this is a shock to climate scientists who've been ringing the alarm bell for quite some time. But Europe's cities could be become uncomfortably and even potentially lethally hot. Southern nations of the Mediterranean could face devastating heat and drought. I mean, this is a different area, but if you look at certain areas in the Middle East, they're predicting that there will be areas there because of increasing temperatures that will become completely uninhabitable. So what happens now is you then create climate refugees. People are going to be displaced, putting even further pressure. You're now going to have less land available for housing and food, but more people there going after the declining, dwindling resources. Now, here's the interesting thing. Such droughts may not happen across the whole of Europe. Some of the indications are that the Baltic states and Scandinavia could experience higher rainfall amounts in a warmer world. Now, the same simulations, the same mathematical modeling that came up with this for the 3-degree increase looked at what if the temperatures only increased by 1.5 degrees as per the Paris Accord. Then the Mediterranean region would experience only 3.2 months of drought, and water loss in the top 2 meters would only be about 8 millimeters. You can see the difference, how important it is to try to reduce how much warming happens to the planet. So these last 2 stories, what's the situation in California and now in Europe, should tell us quite clearly that climate change is already underway, and it is caused by human activity. The science on this is settled. What scientists are now doing is trying to ascertain what the impacts will be, what to expect as we continue to perturb the system. So I wanted to bring you that report, and I thank you for your time, and we'll talk soon. Hey folks, just a reminder to please subscribe and click the bell so you know when I drop a video. Please share my videos, please tell others of my channel and of the work that I do. I also hope that you will consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/Science Talk with Jim Massa, where from time to time I upload videos there exclusively for my patron subscribers. Details in the description box below. Thanks.